What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Nerdy Dating here. I'm your host, Zakka. Bree is back for an episode about sexual discipline.
Yes.
Now, is it important? Do people consider it attractive? Like, what is it exactly? Well, we're going to talk about it on this episode of Nerdy Dating, and we're about to hop into it right now. No cuts, no nothing, just hop into it. So, sexual discipline. This topic came across like my feed earlier this month because it's, no fat November, whatever, no nut November, whatever case we want to call it. And which started as a meme. Like, it was a meme, it was a joke, found it hilarious. TikToks about like day one of no nut November. Can't see out my eye. Day 52. I don't know which way to go to the bathroom. I can't figure out how to look upstairs or walk downstairs. Like, it's just stupid stuff. Like, I'm starting to hear screeching on the walls. Like, it's been forever. Like anything, or the memes where like you see where people like, I should call her, or like I should call him. It's like, dude, it's just a hole in the wall. Like, why would you even? Or like, it's a pillow just puffed up. Somebody about to sleep on it. I should call her. Like, those kind of memes, the jokes, or just stuff like that. Well, apparently people are taking it seriously. And like, it's not a meme anymore. It's real life. Like, god dang it, you gotta do it. And you're like, calm down, people. So this conversation came up, and I had to bring Bree back. I was like, Bree,
yes.
All right. I didn't hear your thoughts on this, because there's a few videos out here that we're going to play a few clips from my episode for you guys, from a few people who came across that was doing research on this. But for the main part, sexual discipline is somebody who's able to control themselves sexually. Like, that is just the gist of it. Like, nothing else.
It's basic as that.
Basic is pretty much what it sounds. It's like self-control when it comes to sexual stuff. Yeah. Like, how much control are you? Are you going around and like mess with anything that can walk? You're like, well, can I go talk to her? She looked at me sideways.
Smash.
Like, yeah, like, or I gotta go talk to him because he
Smash.
Yeah. Or you're like, somebody comes up to you and you're like, no, I'm good. Like, thank you, I appreciate you. I'm not really attracted to you, or
But is that really like having sexual discipline though? Because like, if a girl that you didn't find attractive, she was like, hey, like, you're hot, here's my number, let's go ahead, and you're like, what do you want to do? And you're just kind of like, I'm good. Like, is that you having sexual discipline, or is that just you not being attracted to her to go that way with her? You know what I mean? Because like, that's just how I feel.
No, go. That's interesting to think about that. Like, yeah.
Like, it's one thing to, I guess, have sexual discipline, having standards, like, like it.
Right.
So.
Right. And when it comes to sexual discipline, a thought process here is like, your standard goes out the window. You're like, I haven't had any forever. Why not? Or I'm like, oh no, so I gotta be somewhere, I gotta talk to my friends, where the case would be like talk to my friends, but I gotta go somewhere, I got an appointment, I gotta meet, doctor's appointment, I gotta go to school tomorrow, I gotta go to work tomorrow. And at the bar, you said a attractive girl come over to me and she's like, hey, you wanna come back to my place? And you're like,
sure.
Yeah, like, if in sexual discipline, you're like not into hookup culture, and you're just like, you know what? No, I don't need this. The self-control be like, I don't need to go home to your place. Like, can I take you on a date first? Can I do something else first? Versus like, the first thing you want to do is go hook up with me. That's wild. And it's for a guy to be like, to say like, for me, my example, like my thought process for a man that has sexual discipline, be like, if a girl come up and did that to him, like, hey, come back to my place, we're at a bar right now, let's go. Versus like, no, I don't know you.
Yeah.
I haven't got to meet you, take you on a date, whatever the case would be, what we want to do, and I don't practice hookup culture. I'm not going to go down that route.
Yeah. So
like, a girl came up to me and it's like, hey, Ali, you want to come back to my place? Nah, I'm good.
So then that leads me to a question that I'm not sure if you're ready to answer.
Do it.
But we're going to ask. So do you feel like you have sexual discipline?
I do.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So what makes you think that you do?
Because, like, being single, I'm not sitting here, like, thirsting for, like, a girl, but, like, God dang it, I haven't done it in forever. I need to go through my roster and just start hitting up a bunch of people, which I don't even have a roster. But, like,
I want to stop you real quick before you continue. So how long have you been single? Let's be honest here. ladies?
A year. Not 2 years yet. It'll have been after the Super Bowl of 2020. Chiefs lost to the Buccaneers.
Had to throw it out
and then a few weeks later is when I ended that relationship.
Okay.
So
that was your last like monogamous relationship.
Yeah.
So you've been single since 2020.
Yes.
So let's just say you haven't had sex since then. Like, do you think that you could hold that sexual tension until your next relationship?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like, 2020, the last relationship. And let's just say you're expecting or you're planning to be single for 2 years.
So go celibate and like just be celibate for the next 2 years?
Yeah. So do you think that you have enough sexual discipline to be single for those 2 years?
Oh, like, single or celibate?
Or celibate, like if you plan for it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
If I decide to be celibate, like I'm just gonna be celibate until, you know, my next full-fledged relationship. Where I'm like, we established the relationship, we made it a thing. I'm gonna be celibate until then.
Yes. Like, do you think that you have?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been in a relationship with a girl who didn't want to have, she didn't want to have sex. And she wanted to be, you know, she said she was waiting to marriage. So I was like, sure, I'm down with that. So I've done that before.
So how long did you have to wait?
For that one?
So she said that she didn't want to have sex until marriage?
Mm-hmm.
So how long were you with her?
4 months, and then she broke up with me.
So let's just say, like, y'all actually dated and y'all were together for like a year or whatever. Like, would that bother you?
No.
Do you think?
Yeah, because there's a few times, and this has been like 5 years ago now, but there's a point where we almost did, and I was like, you say you want to wait till marriage, so we're not. And I stopped her.
So crazy.
I was like, I'm not going, because I want her to be, and this shouldn't be my decision, but I didn't want her to have any regrets the next day. I probably shouldn't have done that. I should have waited like I wanted to. Like, I didn't want that to be on her conscience.
I'm not gonna lie, that's really sweet. Because, like, in my opinion, it's really hard to find guys who are like, okay, I'm gonna respect her, you know, her sexuality, and if she doesn't want to have sex until marriage, I'm gonna respect it. I'm not gonna pressure her. Like, to me, it's really hard to find a guy that's like that.
Well, I had another situation, because and Tyreek and I had a conversation about this too, but like, we don't want to be considered like the dude who's like, he took advantage of me, was super aggressive, stuff like that, and I didn't, like, we don't want that to be construed or like, oh, I thought we was in the, like, we both was consenting, we both in the right, but then in reality, like, the flip, like, no, I didn't want to, like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you in that situation, I'm sorry, like, I don't want to do that to somebody. Yeah. And I had one girl had a talking situationship with, where it wasn't, you know, we're just talking, not established relationship, dating phase, like dating phase. Yeah. And things started to get hot and heavy, and I started trying to make a move, and she was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm tired tonight. I was like, okay, fine. And I stopped. And I remember the next day she was like, are you mad that we didn't go further? No, like, you said no, you was tired. I said, fine, let it be. I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, if I don't get to having tonight, I'm going to be angry. Girl.
But like, that's, as women, like, that's kind of what we expect you guys to
throw a fit?
Yeah. Like, honestly, like I said, it's kind of hard to find men who are really understanding about women wanting to wait till marriage or to wait 3 months or whatever her rule is for having sex. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, it's kind of hard to just find a guy that's like really just like, I got you, boo.
And that's
do your thing. Take your time.
As a guy who doesn't do that, somebody who doesn't have sexual discipline.
Exactly.
That's somebody who, like, hey, man, you need to check yourself. Like, get some sexual discipline, be comfortable with yourself, understand that, hey, sex is two-way street. It's not a one-person thing. So she doesn't want to have sex. You do not have sex. You go take your time, go do your thing, whatever you do, and move on about your business, versus trying to be like, oh, if I don't come, I'm going to be angry and frustrated. No, go handle yourself, man. Go handle yourself later somewhere else by yourself. Like, don't sit here and force her to be a part of that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, have sexual discipline, have control. Do not put yourself in a bad situation because you want to get some. And on top of that, it doesn't show your confidence either. To show how confident you are. Sexual discipline also means act like you've been there. Mm-hmm. Okay, you're a virgin, never had sex, fine. And you had the opportunity to come up and you're like, and she says no, be like, okay, dang, I was almost there. Like, no, like, just be like, okay, cool, fine, understand, and be understanding, be empathetic. Don't be like, well, I can't get it, so we're not gonna have fun tonight. Like, no, don't do that, because that's gonna make yourself, one, it almost make you like kind of person are you? Like, are you a horrible person? Like, you care about who I am, care about as a person? No, you don't seem like you're just in it to get this goal at the end, when it should be the person you with should be the one, in my thought and opinion, the person you're hooking up with or having sex, wherever the case may be, it should be enjoyable for both parties, not just one-sided. Yeah. So that's my thought on it. What about you? What do you think about sexual discipline, like from a woman's perspective?
So like I was saying earlier, I feel like, I mean, for male and female, I think that it just looks the same. Is, can you control yourself? Like, do you have to have sex all the time? Do you have to watch porn all the time? So, that's how I look at it. Like, it's just a little switch, you know. Can you turn it on when it's necessary? Can you turn it off when it's necessary? Like, do you just have that control over yourself and over your sexuality? So that's how I look at it. I mean, same for both genders. It should look the same. It should be the same. You know, it's just controlling yourself. So.
Right.
Yeah.
100% agree on that. Like, have control, have some, just like understand that, like, one, it's two people. And let's talk about adult content real quick here, because that is also another topic that a lot of people brought up when you're coming across this, like adult content, like OnlyFans, the websites out there, because I don't want to get demonetized or anything, so I don't know how, like, adult website, adult content. So we're going to talk about that here in a moment. But before we get into that, I do want to bring up a couple of videos here. So there's 3 we're going to play. 2 are TikToks, and the other one is a video from YouTube that we're going to react to here. So let me put the TikTok one right now on this. And yes, One Piece. One Piece, 100%. Which is funny when it came to this sexual discipline. I really found I found like a handful of videos, maybe like 2 or 3 or 4 videos with guys talking about it. Mm-hmm. The rest of it is all women talking about it. And I was like, but it was women in regards to men, not women in regards to like other females regarding to like sexual discipline. It was more women directed at men versus like when the men was talking about sexual discipline, they never talked about women. They only talked about men. And I thought it was an interesting concept there. I was like, All right, so here's the first one. It's from Woman
Bello.
Underscore?
Woman Bello.
So let's see what she says.
Even, at the point where, like, we're pregnant and, 9 months pregnancy, right? So it's a long time. If my man is not sexually disciplined and he's so immersed in sex and wanting to watch porn and wanting to do this and and I'm unavailable to, like, give him what he needs in that time, how am I going to trust that this man is not going to be out on the street looking for, the next whoever to, like, please him? That's my thing with it. If my man is not sexually disciplined enough to know that, to accept that there might be times and there might be periods in our journey, in our, relationship where we can't have sex, to me, that's a massive turn off. And that, for me, that is like a red flag of like someone who is going to 1000% cheat on me at some point. Say you're...
Okay, so do you want to talk about this one and move to the next one, or do you want to go to the next one first?
Talk about this one first.
Okay. What's your thoughts on this one?
So, I think that she is kind of going to the extreme. I feel like if you're in a relationship, like, you should know your man, and you shouldn't expect for him to go off and cheat because you're like, I don't want to have sex, or I want to wait, a couple days, or whatever the case is. Like, you shouldn't expect for him to go and cheat. Like, come on. So that's going to the extreme for me. Like, sorry, woman bellow, or, you know, I'm sorry, but that's very extreme to me. So, just saying.
And I was thinking the same thing. I was like, if you're that far in a relationship where you guys been together long enough and you're having a kid and you're pregnant and you're like, he's gonna go off and cheat on me because I'm pregnant. Like, you know, trust and communication there should already be established in your relationship to the point where, like, you don't have to worry about him doing that. He already trusts you and you trust him. You're like, okay, hey babe, no, I can't really have sex. I can't do this tonight because, you know, I'm pregnant. And you're like, all right.
Or like, I'm tired. Like, you shouldn't be like, oh my God, wait, like, he's gonna cheat on me. Like, no. Like, you need to trust your man, be confident, and like just toss those insecurities out the window because it's not necessary. It's not needed. Come on.
Yep, conversation, commitment, conversation, talking, trust. That's what should be established at this point where you're like, down the line, he's gonna cheat on me because he doesn't have sexual discipline. Yeah. Like, nah, that's like a guy, like, if you know somebody who doesn't have sexual discipline right off the bat, that would be displayed like right out, right from day one, or
you know, keep moving. Mm-hmm. Like, don't keep going down that relationship because, like, if you notice it and that's something that you look for, do what you got to do. Move on. You know, like.
Mm-hmm. And that's like, if wherever your boundary is, wherever your, like you said earlier, like if your 3 month, a year boundary is, wherever that is, or marriage, and he's like forcing you to try to have sex every time, then you know that person's not sexual discipline. Like, that person doesn't have it. And then I do want to talk about adult content because everybody keeps talking about it here. And this, you're going to be blown away by this. But all right, next video real quick.
My man is not sexually disciplined and he's so immersed in sex and wanting to watch porn.
By the way, this video right here is from Victoria Duvall.
Wanted to do this. A man having sexual discipline is probably one of the most important characteristics that a man can have. Or at the very least, a man being interested in cultivating sexual discipline. Now, what does sexual discipline look like? It looks like a man who doesn't watch porn. It looks like a man who is not begging or thirsty for intimacy from random women or from you. A man who has standards and isn't just going to engage intimately with any woman that throws herself at him. It looks like a man who is interested in creating healthy sexuality with his partner and not just repackaging the internalized patriarchy, which is basically porn and the things that we see in porn. Without these qualities, a man is completely weakened, he is not dependable, and he cannot be trusted. He will also likely harm you by cheating or by expecting too much of you and being misogynistic. My man.
And being misogynistic. The way she throws that in there, and being misogynistic.
By the way.
I forgot this. I can't throw that in there and get messy.
Yeah.
What about her? What do you think?
So, I mean, I think that I agree with her for the most part. I'm not going to say, oh, he can't be trusted and he's a piece of shit. Like, no. Like, I'm like, no. But, I mean, yeah, I agree with her for the most part. I think that she was making a lot of sense. So, yeah, I agree with it.
What part?
So, she was pretty much saying that if a guy is at a bar or something and a woman's like, oh, hey, you want to have sex? And he's kind of like, nah. Like, that's showing his sexual discipline. So that I agree with. Like, that I understand. Right. You know, so.
I also wonder, are mostly women talking about men are in relationships with or like single guys?
And that's the thing too. Like, how do you even know?
Right.
But anyways, yeah.
But if they're talking about like a single dude, like that dude should already be like, yeah, no, I'm not, I don't. Because there's another video we watch. And matter of fact, Prince Donnell, if you come across, I'll have this video linked in here. He has a good video about how he drove like 2 hours or an hour to a girl.
He had to work.
He had to work the next day. He drove 2 hours pretty much he knew he was going to get some. He drove 2 hours to take her home and then he was going to get something. And then when, drove back like an hour or 2 hours back home. Ended up being late to work, almost got fired, and he's like, I wasn't thinking straight. He's like, I just knew I was gonna get some, so I was gonna get some. I was gonna drive out because I don't know what his situation was, but he really wanted to have relations with her, so he was gonna drive 2 hours to do it. That's unnecessary, man. To drive 2 hours for just a hookup.
Yeah, no, that's not even prioritizing your life.
Mm-hmm. He knew he had to be at work the next day. He knew that driving that far was gonna make him tired. Then he got with a woman who becoming his wife. She's like, I'm gonna be celibate till marriage.
Yeah.
And he's like, at first, if I was weaker about it, I didn't have discipline, I would be like, I'm not gonna be about it.
Yeah.
But he stuck with it, and he said because of that year, I think it's a year and a half where they didn't have sex, he was able to get a promotion at work. He was able to start a new business, and he did one other thing. I think he got a new car. Something else happened to him, and he was like alluding to the fact that he wasn't
having sex.
Yes, and I was like,
yeah, like sex is not. It should not be holding you back to where you're like you can't buy a new car or you can't get promoted at your job. Like,
right? And
you should not put that much importance on sex. Like, that's no.
Because if that's the case, get a therapist. Speak to somebody if you feel like sex is running your life where you're not able to live your life without having it.
Yeah.
Then go to a therapist. Sit down and talk to somebody. Have somebody help you through and walk through it and figure out why there's need for this. Like what void is missing. Is you're missing something regarding connection? Something's missing. Like what is going on? Or you just like the addiction that you get from like what is happening here? And when he had maybe he wanted just hear his story. His link is in the bio, so you want to go pull the video up, you can. If he wanted that, it was connection he was looking for, and he thought hooking up with different women and getting that connection.
Yeah. When
he finally met that girl who was like, no, I'm gonna be celibate to marriage, and he got that connection. I wonder that would allow him to, focus on other things. Like I tell you right now, when I'm in a relationship, not being on the dating apps is amazing. Like,
really?
Yeah, I'm not spending 5 minutes here and there swiping right, left. More time on my hands because I'm not going on. I'm going on dates, but I'm going on dates with one person. I'm not going on multiple dates a week or hitting up different people, hitting up different. Like, hey, you want to go on a date this Wednesday? You want to go on a date next Thursday? I'm not one date, one girl. Like it's a lot more.
You're just
time.
free.
I'm not free, but I have more time versus like. Not being on a dating apps is like, or being on a dating apps where you're like, got 5 minutes to spare, swipe right here and there. Oh, got another 5 minutes later tonight, swipe right here and there. Oh, got another 5 minutes in the morning, swipe right. Like, it's because they want you to be on the app, so it can be more time consuming versus when you're in a relationship. Like your time, you get a little more time back. I don't know what it is.
Time is being put into your girl though.
Yes.
Like, baby, rub my feet. Baby, let's go to the mall. Baby, let's do this. Let's do that.
My situation, I usually not like once a week kind of dates, but it's not been like over my place all the time or over her place all the time. Like maybe because I'm at 30 at this point, so therefore I have more like established career and doing more things where like having downtime or away from each other is good. Can we ever do our own things, but then we still communicate via talk or text or whatever the case may be. But like then once a week to see each other, like, hey, I'm going to date, do something, make it more special.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That makes sense.
All right, next video. This is from Michelle Flores Diaz. This is a video called Why Men Without Sexual Discipline Are a No, plus How to Identify Them. By the way, mind you, she's 23 years old. She tells us this. Just give you guys a heads up. All right, let me start with this part right here.
Or being on OnlyFans. It is totally okay for you to be mad at him.
Go back a little bit here.
Before marriage, he will have no sexual discipline after marriage. Girls that start this video with saying, yes, it is okay for you to be mad about your boyfriend watching porn or being on OnlyFans. It is totally okay for you to be mad at him. Yes, it is cheating. Yes, it is cheating. And if he says to you, oh no, it's not cheating because I'm not sleeping with them. If you could sleep with them, would you though? Of course they're gonna say no, but the true answer is always gonna say yes. Because if this man is paying to see this woman naked, if he ever had the chance to actually get with this woman, do you think he would? Of course. So this man is over here paying to fantasize and to get his sexual desires fulfilled by another woman online. That is cheating. I will tell you what's equal to that in girl form in a little bit. Also remember that no, you are not crazy or insecure. And lastly, no, it's not your fault, and it's not because you're not enough, and it's not because you're not pretty, and it's not because you're not sexy, it's because he's a creep. Let's get that straight, okay? It's because he is weak,
and he is undisciplined is because he lacks a lot of masculine qualities. A man with no sexual discipline is a liability. A man with no sexual discipline is a man that will always fall short to his true power and potential. And you might be wondering, how can I know if a guy is sexually disciplined? Well, I think you can see it like in their body language. I've been with guys whose eyes I have to be watching. Like I literally have to be looking at their eyes to see what they're looking at, because they were always looking at some other woman. It got to the point where, well, not really get to the point, this was like the second time that I caught him doing it, but the second time I caught him doing it, I literally slapped him in the back of the head. And I was like, how can you disrespect me like that? It was probably not a good move. I probably wouldn't do it again. I probably would simply walk off and literally never talk to him again the first time he did it. But yeah, that happened. And that's how you know. That's how you know a man is not sexually disciplined, because it's very easy for little sexualized things to get his attention. A girl in leggings, a girl bending over. So I feel like physically, if you're hanging out with him, you will be able to tell. If a man has a wandering eye, that means that he is very weak to temptation, because he doesn't care if he's in public or if he's next to you, he has to look. Like, he has to look. So that's one way that you can know. Also, another way is go through his following list. Who is he following? Is it girls that have OnlyFans? Is it girls that, are, most of their pictures are naked? What type of girls does he follow? Like, what type of stuff does he look at on a daily basis? That will tell you a lot. Also, if he's following a lot of girls that have OnlyFans, and these girls promote their OnlyFans in their bios and their stories, don't you think he's been, like, he literally, if he doesn't have an OnlyFans account, then he gets tempted to get an OnlyFans account every single day, because he has all these OnlyFans girls on his following list, whose lives he gets to see on a daily basis. And these girls promote heavy, so...
She says like she knows.
I know.
These
like,
girls
girl, you are watching so hard.
And if he has an OnlyFans account, when you guys start dating, you will never know if he deleted it or not. You will never know. You guys could be dating for 5 years, get married, and he could still have that same OnlyFans account that he had before he started dating you. So I would say, preferably, do not date men that have OnlyFans accounts. I feel like, honestly, like, I feel like that's, like, really creepy. Like, I think that's so creepy. Having a man that has an OnlyFans account would just, like, not have me comfortable at all, because, like, I don't have anything against girls doing OnlyFans, but let's say you get a friend that has an OnlyFans, like, if your man has an account, you never know if he's gonna be wanking it to your friend, or to your best friend, or to your niece, or to your whomever. Like, no, that's not cute. That's Also, another very efficient way is to ask him, hey, what do you think about blah blah blah? Do you watch porn? You can ask him that. Do not be scared to ask him things. Like, so many girls are like, oh, it's not a little bit straightforward. Okay, and guys,
I agree with her about being that. Like,
you guys might think that I'm
straightforward.
crazy, because I actually think so too. There are
just
guys
communicating,
that
like,
choose to not watch porn. This is mostly with, like, entrepreneurs that are very into, like, self-development and stuff like that, because they're transmuting their sexual energy into, like, their business or their fitness or whatever it is. But you wanna get with those men. You know what I mean? You don't want to get with the ones that are eventually gonna get erectile dysfunction because they are at it all day, every day. Also, you know why you should break up with that boyfriend of yours that it's a horn dog and is on OnlyFans and it's following all of these girls and it's so embarrassing? It's because right now he's doing that, right? And, like, it's so embarrassing. But imagine if you marry him. You know the nasty bald guy that is talking to himself in your DMs? You know the old guy that's leaving you messages and commenting on all your pictures and asking if he can see your boobs on your DMs? You know those guys? Yeah, well, that's who your man is gonna be. That's who literally.
So I'm gonna stop it there.
Shit. I can't.
Oh
wow.
She even goes to a point where she says those people who watch, like she gets really messed up with it, where those people who watch porn would become like predators and stuff like that. She goes deep down rabbit hole there, and she's like, I could be wrong, and this could be far fetched. So before I hit some stats here, you want to comment on what she says at first, or should I go with the stats?
Let's just comment real quick.
Okay.
So first of all, sis, what's her?
It's Michelle Flores Diaz.
So first of all, you're super pretty. Okay, that's just first things first. Secondly, I feel like you have had like the worst experiences with men to where you are talking like this. And you're 23, I get it. You're young. You have a long ways to go, sister girl. Okay, like date some men. You're like dating boys, it seems like. It's okay though. We all live and learn. But anyways, so I don't feel like if you watch porn, you're cheating. That is like so crazy to even say or think. Like, oh my God, I can't. I really can't. So that's the first thing I want to say. But anyways, what do you think?
Yes, like she like automatically assumed that, like, for example, watching adult content is considered cheating.
Yeah.
Which I understand that there's some people who do feel that way. They feel like if you watch, another lady get naked on a video, you're cheating. If this person came up to you, would you go ahead and talk to them? I got the conversation with kind of celebrities. Would Megan Good walk up to me, or Scarlett Johansson walk up to me, or Kim Kardashian walk up to me, Ali, would you drop everything? And she's like, hey, Ali, come hook up with me. I'll be like, am I in a relationship? Yes. No, I'm not going that way.
Exactly.
However, if somebody's like,
call me in like a couple years.
Or like, I also had girls like, well, if Kim Kardashian came up to you, she's like, I would hop on her. I'm like, well, that's good. Like, don't throw me underneath the bus unless it's like getting a hall pass here. Like, wait, I'm going to go polyamorous for what? How much? For
I know, right?
You talking like, with Kim Kardashian could polyamorous? We just agree with this? You okay?
Yeah. And then secondly, she was talking about like going through her man's following list and like all that stuff, and watching him whenever they're out in public and watching his eyes. Like, that is doing too much too. Like, you're looking for something.
Right.
Like, you're looking for something.
Like, in this situation, I would, from what she was saying, like watching the eyes, like, are you not secure about your relationship to the point where you feel like this guy cannot commit to you enough to be like, oh, this girl walks by, it was fun dating you.
That ass is fat.
Like, right? Like, you gonna walk over there? Like if you're in a situation where you don't feel secure enough to be with somebody, you're afraid that every 5 seconds you gotta watch what they do, look at their phone and see what they're doing.
Like putting him on a leash.
Yeah. One, that's not a healthy relationship. That's very toxic. You have to end that. Like, you're not secure enough in your relationship to have a conversation and talk to them like, hey, and everybody's gonna look. If a guy came across you, you're gonna look. You find him really attractive, like, that's a really attractive guy. You're gonna look. Like, women say like, oh, man wearing a suit and tie, that's really attractive, dressed up. Like, I hear women over talking sometimes like, that guy over there today wearing that suit and tie, oh, that's a pretty boy, that's a pretty man. Fine looking man. Like, I heard somebody had a beard where it's like a little bit salt and pepper. She called it salt and pepper. Like, got a little salt and pepper in his beard. Like, he was a little older, so he had a little gray and black. She's like, a little salt. She thought I was attractive. Like, so I hear women talk about that kind of stuff all the time. And to say like, a guy looks around, turns his head. Now, there is a point where rubbernecking, where you feel like you have to like really break your neck.
Like, you're with your girl and like that's super disrespectful. That's freaking crazy. You're like, oh my God. Like, no, you're doing way too much. Like, you
that's disrespectful. That's like, what are you doing? Like, you catcalling, rubberneck, like doing that. I remember we went all out to karaoke. I remember I saw a girl, like a really hot girl at Pickle Man. You remember that? And I felt bad because I kept looking at her. I was like, I think she's attractive. And I just said like,
there were a lot of attractive girls.
But I wanted to say like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, I thought you were attractive. I keep looking. I'm sorry. Like, I went and said her that because I felt bad for doing that.
We like to hear that.
Yeah,
love
but
and compliment us.
Yeah.
Be like, dang, you're looking good. I'm like, okay.
Looking and being like disrespectful. I felt like I was being disrespectful for her because I was sitting down and like she crossed my eye, and it's like, okay, that's one thing. Okay, crossed the eye. Then I came back. I was like, you scan the room. You're just like looking around, like doing it again. Like, okay, I'll leave.
But this is the thing. Like, you're single.
Yes.
You're in the dating world. You're looking to see who is catching your eye, who you like, and if somebody double catches your eye, go up and talk to them.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm sorry, cause like I'm just like, hey, you look really attractive. But also, we're not like in a place where we're like, I guess if I really wanted to make a move, I could have made a move. But at the same time, I'm like in a place where like I'm not here to make a move. I'm here to eat, just sit down. But this girl keeps catching my eye.
No
like,
appropriate, like scene. Like,
true.
Just saying, this is not.
And matter of fact, that probably would have been one of the best places. Like Pickleman's been one of the best places to meet somebody. Cause one, you're not at a club, you're not out, you're not doing things where like, or at a bar, you're at a spot where like it's chill and go have a conversation, walk off. Anyway, I went up and said like, apologize, like, hey, sorry, I just keep, I feel bad for staring. Yeah. My fault. I'm sorry. Just want to let you know you're really beautiful. And I just got out the way. I just walked out. I was like, I'm done.
I'm done.
Like I can't keep doing this. Like this is being disrespectful. But like, if I'm in a relationship with a girl, there's no way in the world I'm saying like, okay, maybe at glance you see like you scan the room like, oh, it's a really attractive person. But you're also like with your significant other. You're in a relationship. You're committed to this person. So what's the point of you just keep like, Kanye West and Kanye West is a horrible person to bring up right now. Just Like you see the picture where he's like staring at somebody and he just stares, and like Kanye West doesn't care. He gonna keep staring. Like you shouldn't do that. Not at all. That's horrible.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, what about the significant other following OnlyFans? What do you think about that?
See, I am like the wrong person to ask about this, because I personally I got an OnlyFans, okay? I'm not actively on OnlyFans, but if you are, I'm not gonna judge you because it is what it is. Like, I am sexually liberated, so it is what it is. I don't care. But I don't think that it's a problem. I mean, sometimes I'm like back and forth about it, but most days I'm like, okay, he's got OnlyFans, like it is what it is. He watches porn, like what you do. Like it is what it is. And then other days I could flip the script and I can be like, okay, like she's got big tits, like she's kind of hot. He's watching this. Like I don't have big tits. So that kind of makes me feel a little like so I don't know, I flip-flop, like I go back and forth sometimes, like, but most days I am okay with it, like, so what about you?
The OnlyFans one, I'm like in the middle of, because one, there is adult content out there that's free. Yeah. So if I want to go find, my favorite adult actress, I can go out there and find her. Like on any site there is. Now I don't understand where people are like, and she said here in her video, she was like, I don't know, women get it OnlyFans, I don't care about that. Like, go do you, get your bag kind of thing. Yeah. But then she's like, I don't want my boyfriend following a girl that I know, my friend getting OnlyFans. So I'm like, what? So you're okay with your friend getting OnlyFans, but then you're upset your boy watch. What? No, that's trust and communication. Trust and communication. Have that conversation. Yeah. Make sure you guys trust each other. Make sure you guys communicate with each other and you're committed to each other. Where that doesn't have to be a break in your relationship. That's the fact that somebody decided to watch adult content or OnlyFans. Now, as far as OnlyFans goes, where I feel like, okay, you're paying for it, but it's like, are you paying for... You're paying for this specific person, I don't know how much the break or OnlyFans is, I don't know how much they get of your cut. But like, okay, majority of the money hopefully is going towards that person particular versus I guess watching on an adult content website where you're like, that person they're not, unless they're a certified member, I guess, or the case like premium, I don't know how it works. But I'm assuming anything like Instagram or like Instagram or Twitter, I guess you don't get paid off of it, but like YouTube where you get paid by having like, you're YouTube certified, you have the, what I'm thinking of, YouTube certified, I can't subscribe, YouTube, it is YouTube certified, isn't it? It is. Monetized where you get with the platinum and everything, where you can make money off of YouTube. Yeah. I don't know if like the adult content websites are the same way, that way, like you hit a certain threshold, you get X an X amount of money from somebody's knocking. I think we're above. Okay. Sorry. But X amount of money off of Pornhub, or what case would be. So I said it. I was going to use adult content this whole time. But I want to talk about that though, because the last 3 women is like about adult content. You watch the adult content, he's not loyal, he's not respectful, he's not this. And I want to talk about that. So on pbs.org, link here, it says, what is porn? And it says, usually refers to representation designed to arouse or give sexual pleasure to those who read, see, hear, or handle them. Although sexual stimulation would seem to be a splendid goal, it is not always so regarded in society, still characterized as puritanical. That's what PBS.org said. And then from Cornell University, they stated this: pornography, porn for short, is material that depict nudity or sexual acts for the purpose of sexual stimulation. However, the presence of nudity or sexual acts in a piece of media does not necessarily make the media pornographic, if the purpose of the media form is something other than sexual stimulation. Pornography can take the form of photographs, videos, written material, audio recordings, or animation, amongst other media formats. To add to that, because I do want to bring this up too, because another article I found it's called The New Drug on the newdrug.org, is how many women watch porn. And according to according to 2018, and since the pandemic, I'm pretty sure this number has risen.
Oh yeah.
A study showed that 91.5% of men watch porn and 60.2% of women consume porn. And then it also stated that a survey came out that half of 11 to 16-year-old boys, 53%, and 11 to 16-year-old girls, 39%, report believing watching porn at a young age and believe that it's a realistic depiction of sex. And 44% of boys who watch porn report that online pornography gave them the idea about the type of sex they wanted to try. Yeah. So, why I'm bringing these stats up, because 91% of men in 2018, pandemic hit. I'm not sure what the stat number is, but I'm pretty sure that number went way up because you're at home, you have nothing to do, you're bored, pandemic, lockdown. And for women.
Yeah.
So you're not going to be here to tell your boyfriend, like, you can't watch porn, you shouldn't watch it, you're cheating on me if you do. If 91% of men do it, guarantee most likely your boy that's sitting next to you have watched porn, if not come across it. Also, I stated audio and written. I mean, you can read a book, and if the goal of the book is to stimulate, sexual arousal, that's porn. You watch a movie that's, let's say that scene was supposed to stimulate sexual arousal and they go off and do something else, could be considered porn. So with that being said, you're going to come across it, that person, your boyfriend will come across it, your girlfriend will come across it. How do you handle it? How do you talk about it? Understand that porn is not something that should be like cheating. Oh my gosh. Have a conversation. Sit there and discuss it. Let's understand that porn is not real. Let's get that out there. It's not real. It's acting. It's not, especially watching audio visually, on a website or video of it. It's not real. It's for, stimulation. So therefore they take cuts. They're going to stop and make videos, make edits, so like that. It's not 100% reality. So have a conversation about it. Talk about it. Let's discuss okay, is this ruining your life? Is this too much? Because if that's the case, once again, see a therapist. If you can't stay away from porn for, the day where you feel like it's consuming you, yes. Then have that conversation, say, this consume my life, get a therapist kind of thing. But sit there and be like, porn is cheating? No. That is an insecurity. I feel like that's getting put onto somebody else. They're insecure about themselves. Well, you're watching this girl with,
big titties, okay? Hey!
But, sorry. But it's you're not being secure, not you, but just the person not being secure with the relationship to be I don't want you watching this. Like, you're gonna go cheat on me because you watched the girl with the big tits. Like,
by the way, they're nice, okay? They're just not big. I'm kidding, but no.
So what do you think about all that stuff? I know that's a lot. I just dropped a freaking statistic bomb there and then got a little deeper into it.
Yeah.
What do you think of that stuff?
So I know a lot of women who watch porn, honestly. So I never knew that the statistics were like that. I mean, it's expected, I don't know why, but it's expected for more men to watch more porn.
More visual.
Yeah. But I'm around a lot of women who openly discuss like their sexuality and things like that. So they openly say, yeah, I watch porn, I masturbate, this and this and that. And so I'm like, dang, like more women watch porn than I thought. So yeah.
And with that being said, so okay, women and men, so therefore like don't be upset if significant other watches porn. Like if they're just watching to the point where it's ruining your relationship, ruining your guys' life, ruining their person's life, therapy, have a conversation. That's when it comes to issue. But
definitely.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I was like, just definitely have a conversation. Also remember that porn is not real. And to the guy out there, to kids who are teenagers who might be listening to this, count on kids, but teenagers might be listening to this. It's not real. It is stage. It is stage. And for a lady out there or a guy who's like, my wife watches this, my husband watches this, my boyfriend, girlfriend watches this. How about you send them a sexy pic of you?
I was gonna say that, like, I sometimes feel like, you guys can watch porn together, like, because that may be hot or it may make things more sexier for you guys. If he watches porn and he's like, yo, I seen this video on Pornhub today. I seen this video and we should try this. Like, that's just bringing more into your sex life, I feel like. Because you may be doing the same stuff over and over again. Like, maybe watching certain porn videos may just spice things up. Honestly, you may learn something new. Like, you don't have to look at porn as if it's just, oh my God, like, he's looking at this girl, he must want her instead of me. Like, it doesn't have to be that. It can be education, low-key. Like, it can be more than what you're making it out to be. Like, you don't have to have your first thought be like, he's cheating, he's this, he's that. Like, no. Like, there could be positivity from it. So.
Right. And also, like, somebody, if you're so insecure about somebody going through their Instagram or Instagram's feed and seeing their people they're following, like, ask them, like, okay, well, I see you following this girl here. Why are you following her? Like, what about... You
could be like, that's my best friend Becky from down the street.
All of them like supermodels.
Oh, well, never mind then. Well, shit, that's some girl I found off of my webpage. I don't know.
Now, supermodels, okay, so that's actually a conversation here. Segue, sorry. So, the girl down the street versus, like, the model that's in New York. It's girls like, why are you following her? I'd be like, well, yeah, if I knew her, like, okay, I knew her since, middle school, high school, college, like, acquaintance. Versus, like, I'm following, like, why are you following Alicia Lehman? She's a soccer player. Like, I think she's overseas, but she's a soccer player. She does modeling sometimes too, so I follow her stuff. It's somebody like, why are you following? Like, she's attractive, like, but like, if you're so worried about like me following her, like, yeah, she's wearing lingerie and leggings. Like, I think it'd be kind of cool if my girlfriend sent me a picture of her wearing lingerie and leggings. Like, I'm like, ah.
And honestly, like, me and my boyfriend have had conversations like this where we're just kind of like you said, like, porn's not real. Instagram and social media is not real.
It's all curated.
So you really cannot put that much emphasis on those types of things to have that seep into your real life relationship. Like, that's not healthy. So that's how I feel about it. But yeah, we've had a conversation about that and just communicating. So
right. And then bringing back around to sexual discipline, like somebody watching OnlyFans or watching porn does not mean they're not sexually disciplined. Like, they can still be a sexually disciplined person and still watch that stuff. So the only time it comes out of hand is when it's starting controlling their life and they can't live their life and they can't do the things, can't work, eat, sleep, do the things they need to do. hang out with their friends because they're so wrapped up in sex.
And that literally
or
means
porn.
that you have an addiction, honestly. Like, you have a porn addiction. And not to make this too personal, but my dad was a real heavy porn watcher. Like, he was very much addicted, and it was to the point to where he actively cheated on my mom. So don't let that be you to where you're so not sexually disciplined and you're just affecting, you know, your love life. Like, no, no.
Yeah.
No, you gotta handle that. Keep that in check.
Exactly. So understand, like, it's not real, and understand that, and then sexual, like, when it comes to that, like, don't let sex ruin your life. Sexual discipline, be in control, self-control, what you need. So that's where it kind of wraps back around to, but at the same time, we just want to bring light to, like, just because somebody watches this or do that does not mean they're just a monster out here going crazy.
They're a bad person, they're a cheater, they're this, they're that. Like, no, it doesn't have to be all that, because it's a case-by-case situation. Like, it doesn't have to be this man watches porn, so he has to be a cheater. Now all men are fucking cheaters because they watch porn. Like, no.
And then we ain't get on top of, like, no flap or no nut, because that's a whole nother thing. That's a conversation lead, and we're not doctors or anything like that, but you can go find stuff where they can talk about, like, the benefits of self-pleasure, which I personally think is important, but also that it's different for each person too. Like, it's one reason because you know who you are, know yourself, kind of know your body, but at the same time, like, just because one person might, you know, self-pleasure 3 times a day, and the next person might only does it once a week, and one person might not do it wrong, don't do it at all, doesn't mean there's something wrong with them. It's, matter of fact, PlannedParenthood.org actually talks about, like, the different levels. Like, it's fine. No matter what each person does, it's fine. Just that as long as it's not consuming your life and taking over you, where you can't eat, sleep, and breathe and do the things you need to do, you're fine.
Because if you think about it, like, and I'm not sure if there are any statistics on this, there probably are, and you probably have mentioned it or showed me, but I feel like most people have started watching porn at an extremely young age before you're actually actively having sex. So because you've watched porn or come across porn, like, you're now knowing what you like because of the things that you've seen and you've touched yourself and things like that. So again, it doesn't have to be looked at as just this negative thing. It can be a positive thing. Now, I'm not gonna want my daughter to be watching porn. She's 3, but when she gets of age to where she's, like, discovering herself, like 13 and up, I'm gonna be a hypocrite. I'm gonna be like, you're not watching it. Stay away from it. Porn is bad. No,
don't do that. I'm gonna go the straight opposite. If my daughter or son came across it, I'm like, all right, let's sit down, let's have a conversation, let's talk about this, because you come across it, obviously your friend might come across it. Realize this is not real. This is not a reality. This is literally made for entertainment purposes. So do not expect, for my son, do not expect a woman to be like, oh, I want to do this, do that because you've seen it in this video, or let's do this, do that, because one, when you see that video, that lady probably had years of practice, years of like different exercises like that to get herself ready and prompt for this. Yeah. The guy also had done different exercises, different things, take different pills, gets up ready and prompt for the scene. So therefore, you can't be like, well, she had it and she liked it. No, I can guarantee you it's probably not actually fun for her because the way the things are doing. So it's more for a paycheck. So don't look at her like, well, she's doing this, making these noises. Do you know she's really having fun, or she's just doing it? And for my daughter, I'd be like, don't let a guy force you to try to do these things because he saw it on a video. Like, one, no, that's not how. Usually the videos are over dramatic, over the top. That's not how it's gonna look like. Matter of fact, he might be disappointed your first time because, like, it's just you don't know what you're doing. They don't know what you're doing. Like, one, hopefully wait till you're older. But you decide to do this at a young age, like. So
are you gonna be that parent that's like,
here's a condo?
Dang. Okay. Really?
Yeah.
So what if your kid is 13 years old and they're like, Dad, I want to have sex?
No, not 13. No.
So like, what's that age that you're gonna be okay with it? I'm not comfortable with it at least.
If it happens in high school, I would be like 16 or up. Like, yeah, like just I want to educate my kids and be like, hey. Realize that you decide to play this dope game, there's a consequence that can come with this. I don't want to scare them, but be like, oh, no, STDs. No, this will be like kids, it's like, you know, STDs, sexually transmitted diseases, sexually transmitted infections. You also have like think about like if you decide that anything goes wrong, like my son or daughter, like 16, get pregnant kind of thing. Like, think about like, you're ready to take care of the baby, or you'll be able to do these kind of things, or be able to do this. Like, think about the things you're going to do before you play this adult game. Because technically, it's not a game, but it's more of an adult activity. It is adult activity, not more. It is adult activity. So if you decide to do this, just be aware there's consequence that can come of it. Just be prepared to do this. Your mom are not going to be here to help. I don't know. You decided
I don't know, buddy.
But I'm not going to be dumb and be like, oh, not my kid. My word. They would never, like.
I just want my daughter to be out of the house. Like, we can talk about sex all you want. You have questions, I got answers. Like, we can talk about it. But like you said, having sex, intercourse is an adult activity. You do not need to be sitting in mommy and daddy's house fucking. Like, I'm sorry.
You said the L word.
You want me to?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
But yeah, just have that conversation. Education, discussion, and just being open. That's where it comes down to. Like, a lot of people get
Sorry, you guys.
You're fine. A lot of people get so like, my word, I'm not having this conversation with my kids. Like, how do you think you got here? Remember, actually, when was your first time? When you knew your friends was doing it? Like, don't be naive to it, because then when the time comes and you're like, well, I just didn't prepare myself because I didn't have a conversation with my parents, you're like, and don't listen to your friend, like, because I would rather me talk to them and have a conversation with them than
their friends or
15-year-old, 16-year-old friend. Hey man, look what I seen here. Look, hey girl, look what I saw here. Like, I do not want the misguided information getting sent down. So I'd rather be like, hey, here's some books you want to read about it. Here's some books to read about it. Like, you don't want the word from, like, you don't want to hear me talk about it. Like, here's a book about like how the body and anatomy and how, you know, sex works, stuff like that. So you have an idea, like just education.
I discovered, and sorry if this is just TMI. You know what? Never mind.
That's fair. No, that's fair. Cause I was like, wait a minute, you're getting there. Like, okay, yeah, hey, you might do it one day on your own podcast.
Yeah,
you know, so save a little content for the future.
Yes.
Sneak peek.
Okay.
Okay.
Remember the name, the face. Okay.
Well, Bree, anything else you want to talk about sexual discipline, or you think we kind of went over everything?
At this point, I think that we've gone over just about everything. So.
Well, hey, you guys have any questions or comments, please put it in the comment section below. Don't forget, if you want to send me a question, we can answer on the podcast. It's called alizakkanerdydating@gmail.com. That's alizakkanerdydating@gmail.com. You can get your review, or not review, that's my other channel, but you can get your your question answered on the show. I'd be happy to answer it. But what do you guys think of this today's comment, sexual discipline? What's your thoughts? What's your comments? How do you feel like about sexual discipline? What other content have you seen out there about it, where people are talking about it? I'm curious too. So thank you guys for watching this episode. Bree, thanks for coming on this episode.
Yay!
See you in the next one.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Keep being awesome and have a great day. Thank you for watching this episode of Nerdy Dating. I really appreciate it. If there's another episode you want to watch, you can look at it right there. If you want to subscribe to the page and watch more content, it's down here. Also, you have a question about dating, you want to put it in the comment section, go ahead and do it. Or you can send me a dating question to my email of alizakkanerdydating@gmail.com. That's alizakkanerdydating@gmail.com. And I will answer your question on the next episode of Nerdy Dating. Thank you so much for watching the show. I appreciate you, and keep being awesome.